Celebrating 75 years.
I didn't know where the guy was because I was hiding. I was afraid he was going to walk around the front of the car and come back. I was trying to figure out if I could kind of play cat and mouse with him.
New developments in the mass shooting in Orlando, Florida. We are now hearing from the former Salt Lake Fox 13 news photographer who survived the gunfire. Now, newly released body camera footage showing the arrest of the alleged gunman and the last time he spoke to police. Now, Spectrum 13 photographer Jesse Walton covering the original drive-by shooting with his friend and coworker, reporter Dylan Lyons, Wednesday. That's when 19-year-old Keith Melvin Moses returned to the scene, and police say he shot 4 more people, including Walden and Lyons. Lyons died along with a 9-year-old girl. Walden required surgery in the hospital.
It's just this unprovoked, senseless, random violence that no one could have saw coming. And it's so unfair that it happened to Dylan, that he died.
Walden is recovering. Meanwhile, suspected shooter Moses is facing charges in the first shooting Walden and Lyons were sent to report on, with more expected to follow.
In international news, countries around the globe marking the 1-year anniversary since Russia invaded Ukraine. In Paris, the Eiffel Tower lighting up yellow and blue to match the Ukrainian flag. In Australia, the Sydney Opera House also changing colors to honor the war-torn country. And in London, protesters taking to the streets with buckets of paint, covering the street in front of the Russian embassy with stripes of yellow and blue. But officials say Russia shows no signs of backing down. Washington correspondent Alexander Lamone reporting tonight on new actions the U.S. announced just today.
On the 1-year anniversary of Russia's invasion of Ukraine, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said before he'll consider peace talks, Russia must meet one condition.
Stop shelling us, stop killing civilians.
U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken says in the last 12 months, Russia has killed tens of thousands of Ukrainian men, women, and children.
Uprooted more than 13 million people from their homes, bombed more than 700 hospitals, 2,600 schools, and abducted at least 6,000 Ukrainian children.
U.S. officials say Putin shows no signs of backing down.
He wants to continue to brutalize the Ukrainian people, wants to continue to shell their cities and towns.
And yet, the spirit of the Ukrainians remains unbroken. If anything, it's stronger than ever.
That's why the U.S., together with the G7, announced new sanctions targeting 83 Russian entities, including banks and wealth management groups and military supply chains, and 22 individuals, including some accused of arms trafficking.
Day after day of Russia's atrocities, it's easy to become numb to the horror, to lose our ability to feel shock and outrage.
But the U.S. and allies say they won't lose sight of the need to help Ukraine, and the White House announced it's releasing $10 billion in additional aid.
Utah leaders also sharing their support for Ukraine on this anniversary. Senator Mitt Romney voicing the need for the U.S. to continue sending aid to the country. He says, in part, we must make clear with our actions in Ukraine that we'll help people defend themselves. He adds, the cost of our support is significant, but fortunately, there is no blood being shed by our soldiers. Romney's unwavering stance grabbing the attention of President Joe Biden. The president says even though he and Romney don't always agree, quote, he knows what I know, that standing with Ukraine and standing up for freedom advances our national security.
All right, turning now to a weather alert. Experts warning about increased avalanche danger after this week's massive storm and with more snow overnight and even into the morning. Yeah, areas of concern, including places you don't normally see the snow sliding. Utah Avalanche Center saying avalanches in the mountains are normal, but not so much at lower elevations. And that's where they're seeing the snow crashing down this season. Craig Gordon with the center advising backcountry recreators to keep this in mind when venturing out in the fresh snow.
Now that there's a mid and lower elevation snowpack, we've got to go armed into those zones because we've got avalanche terrain that surrounds us even outside our homes right now.
Now, usually he says those areas are grassy this time of year, but now you'll want to make sure you're careful near them. Whether you're walking your dog, hiking, running, or just passing through the area even. And always make sure to check conditions before heading out.
Time now for Utah's most accurate forecast with Alana Brophy. Weather rates certified 11 years in a row.
That's the advice. Check conditions before heading out always.
Yep, and you're taking a look at where that avalanche danger is, Alana.
Yeah, you want to know before you go. We all want to head out into the mountains with all of that fresh snow, but you have to be so careful. And those conditions exist all through northern Utah. For the Wasatch Range, we have considerable danger. Also the case in the western Uintas. Moderate in the Skyline area, but eastern Utah, the La Salles and the Abajos also looking at considerable danger. Now, this is typically when we see most incidents occur, so you want to be extremely careful. And just as Craig said, it's happening on those slopes, even in lower elevations, so you want to be very cautious. Saratoga Springs this morning, as a band of snow came through, complicating the commute. Those snow showers pushing up from the southwest, and we know as we take that live look from Deer Valley, you're able to see that that snow made its presence known. This area picked up a foot. The southwesterly flow benefiting certain resorts, and that includes Deer Valley. At the ABC4 studios, we've got cloud cover out there, 40 degrees right now, so temperatures warming. And as we look at the light snow that we received for the overnight, it actually contributed to our snowiest February standings. We were cracking the top 10 after that last midweek storm. But now we're in the spot number 9 with 20.6 inches for the month in Salt Lake City. We went up by 0.3 of an inch for the overnight. We have storms ahead. We could actually continue to move up this scale and end maybe in the top 8 when it comes to snowfall for February. This moisture in California is keeping us on our toes. That system's going to be dragging towards the Beehive State, and our southwest flow is going to bring that wet weather into southern Utah first. Cloud cover out there right now, but quieter conditions. Winter weather advisory posted for late Saturday into Sunday. This goes into effect at 8 p.m. And it's for areas like Bryce Canyon, south central Utah, accumulating snow coming back. And we're going to see it accumulate with increasing cloud cover first, windy conditions, and then snow setting up. And that snow is going to push north for the overnight. I'll show you what I mean here. This evening, pretty calm. We have some mountain snow showers that could hold on, and the chance still in the southwest desert exists. There's moisture potential down there, and they are unsettled. Now, as we head through the overnight, we quiet down. Saturday is going to be mostly a break day for us. But look at all of that rain and snow impacting California. That's going to get closer to Utah. It's knocking on our doorstep by 5:30 on Saturday. There's the cloud cover I'm talking about by the evening. Temperatures are going to be closer to average because the southwesterly flow helps our warming trend, but you can see through much of the day Saturday, quiet throughout the rest of the state. As we roll overnight, just after midnight, here we are at 2 a.m., that snow pushes in. We've got rain in portions of southern Utah, but overall that accumulating snow, and it's going to continue to surge north as we get through the early morning hours. By 8 a.m., we have snow in the mountains and along the central portion of the state and I-15 corridor. We do have pockets of snow expected for the Wasatch Front as well. Then we get some quieter conditions for Sunday, but our next storm system moves in Sunday night. It's going to be a heavier one, and we're not done after that. 30s and 40s for those highs for your Saturday, 50s in Moab, 40s for I-15, 59 in St. George, a little closer to where we should be this time of year, but still below average. St. George 7-day, keeping active conditions with the potential for wet weather, and those temperatures, even though they get close to 60 tomorrow, drop right back down with colder air and a cold front coming through. Wasatch Front shows those 40s turning to 30s with the chance of snow. Healthier amounts late Sunday, heading into Monday, and then things quiet for minimal amount of time. Tuesday into Wednesday brings another chance of accumulating snow, not just for the mountains, potential for our valleys. So the snow is here to stick around for the next little while. This active pattern means business.
Okay. Thank you so much, Alana. We appreciate it. Time now for a look at sports with Wesley Ruff.
And we're still all riding high after that finish last night.
That was fun last
night.
Oh,
so fun.
That was a great game. Yeah, Utah Jazz played the first home game in over 2 weeks last night, and they came up with a dramatic